Hello， 大家好，我是 Kobe。通常如果有人问我铁人三项里面你觉得哪一项最困难，我都会马上毫不犹豫的回答游泳。它同时也是我3项成绩里最烂的一项。这边不是在谦虚哦，是真的非常烂。我最好的成绩113的话是49分，226的话更是凄惨的1小时44分。很大一部分的原因来自于我接触游泳的时间点有点晚。30几岁才开始学游泳，在这之前我是一个彻头彻尾的旱鸭子，而且因为小时候差点在溪边溺水的经验，我甚至有点怕水，也因此一直没有培养出良好的水感。再加上我一开始并没有用正确的方式学习游泳，导致养成了很多不好的习惯，技术动作非常的没有效率。在这种先天不足后天又失调的情况下，成绩会烂也是理所当然的事。虽然大家都说游泳占的距离最短 ，CP 值也最低，但是俗话说游泳或许不能够让你赢得比赛，却绝对能够让你输掉比赛。想要成为一名顶尖的选手，在游泳这个项目上一定要有所突破才行。水感的话需要时间慢慢累积，没有办法强求。除了多游以外，别无他法。于是改善技术动作就成为我优先专注的目标。所以我开始在网路上搜寻相关知识。后来我发现了一个 YouTube 频道叫做 EfforlessSwim， 中文直接翻译就是毫不费力的游泳。不过它并不是叫你不要用力，而是应该要在正确的时机点用力，也就是追求效率。频道主 Brenton 是澳洲人。选手出身的他退役后转为教练，在累积了一定的教学经验之后，他发现大多数人游不好的原因是因为没有效率，而没有效率的原因则是因为缺乏正确的观念。所以他想要将正确而有效的游泳知识传播给大众，顺便推销他的游泳教学事业，所以就创办了 EfforlessSwim， 开始上传他分析学员们泳姿的影片。当初我看完第一支影片之后，就马上按下了订阅。因为比起教练示范完美而正确的动作，我发现这种实例分析的教学方式反而更能引起我的共鸣，因为往往能够在别人的身上也看到自己相同的问题，而且 Brenton 教练还会针对各种问题提出相对应的修正方法，这对我来说非常的受用。在一段时间的观看之后，我想要更有系统的改善游泳效率，于是也开始寄影片给 Brenton， 请他帮忙分析我的泳姿，并提出改善的方法。自从我开始请 Brenton 帮我分析泳姿之后，到了泳池除了训练，我还会顺便观察别人的泳姿。我发现相同程度的人们有的缺点也都差不多，所以我想将自己的影片翻译成中文分享给大家，希望能够帮助到那些跟我一样想要精进自己的泳姿，不管是铁人还是单纯喜欢游泳这项运动的朋友们。
Hey Kobe, thanks for joining the membership and for sending in your first video. So this is good. There's a lot that we can do over the next couple of months and onwards from there to bring the speed up and the effort down. As we go through this, I'm going to get you to work on 1 or 2 things at a time, and then we'll progress on from there. So we're just going to work on the sort of the first principles, if you've seen our 5 core principles in the membership, and then just progressively go through that. And while some of these things might seem really simple, they will make a difference, especially as you go further on and you're working on the kind of more challenging aspects of the stroke and the other things like the catch and the pull. So the first thing that I want to do is just the head position and the posture. So if you have a look at your head position, you'll see that for most of the stroke, most of the time you're swimming, the head is completely under the water. It's completely submerged. What you see with most elite swimmers is that their head is above, the top of their head is above the water most of the time. So if you look at someone here, like this is a girl, Harriet Brown, you can see the top of her head is above the water there. Now it's that position that makes it a lot easier to breathe, because if the whole head is underneath the water, then when you turn to breathe, you've almost got to look too high up to get the mouth out of the water. So what I'd encourage you to do is actually look a bit further forwards. And I like, especially as a triathlete, look about 45 degrees in front, somewhere there. Keep the top of your head above the water. And the way you can think about it is you want a neutral neck and spine. Neutral as in still straight, but you can still look slightly forwards. So I'll show you here with Harriet. you can see there, neutral, as in the head, the spine and the neck is quite straight, looking slightly forwards there. And I like to think of it as keeping the neck long. And with your posture, it should feel like you are sort of chest out, proud with the posture, instead of sort of rounded and hunched through the shoulders, which can happen if the head goes down too deep. So even though it might seem like a fairly simple one, when you get it, it can make the catch and pull feel a whole lot easier, but it can also just make the swimming feel a whole lot easier, because when the head goes down all the way under the water, it can feel like you're having to really work to move through the water. Whereas once we adjust it, it can feel just like you're sitting sort of a bit more on top of the water, and it's much easier to travel through it than if you're having to sort of travel on top of it compared to if you're having to travel through it. That will be the first change. And yeah, I know it's a simple one, but it will make a big difference. So now that's the first thing we want to work on. But the other thing I will actually get you to just rotate a little bit less as well. So if we have a look at how far your shoulders are rotating side to side, they're going to about 65 degrees through the shoulders on that stroke, and probably 55, 60 degrees through the shoulders on that side as well, which is just a little bit too far. So you're actually rotating too much through the upper body. And what happens when you rotate too far is it makes it very hard to get a good catch on this side, because it puts too much pressure on the shoulder as you're going through the catch, because the shoulders are on their side too much. The other thing it causes is it means that your cadence or your stroke rate will be a lot lower than what it would otherwise be, because it takes that little bit extra time to get back onto the other side. So what I'd encourage you to do is just reduce how far you're rotating through your shoulders, which will help with the catch and the pull and a few other things as we go. Now, yes, you definitely want to rotate, but not that far. Think of it as 40 to 45 degrees rotation instead of about 60 degrees. So if you look at someone like Harriet here, her rotation from the front, just have a look at, all right, how far are her shoulders rotating? Yeah, to about there. So you can see that. It's about sort of 40, 45 degrees. And their shoulders, same thing, about 35, 40 degrees through the shoulders there, and same thing there. So that's all you need. Any further than that, then it's too much. So they'll be the first things I'll get you to practice. Now, you don't need drills for those two things. I'll just get you to start by doing some focused swimming, practicing those two things. Now, if you have any questions, let me know.
OK， 以上就是 EfforlessSwim 的 Brenton 教练帮我做的泳姿分析。看完后不晓得你有没有任何的问题、想法或者是建议，有的话都欢迎在底下留言让我知道，非常感谢哦。如果觉得今天的影片还不错的话，也可以帮我按个赞，顺便分享给有需要的朋友们。后面我还会陆续上传这方面的影片，有兴趣的朋友也可以订阅我的频道并开启小铃铛，这样影片上架的时候就能够得到通知了。那么今天的影片就到这边，谢谢大家的观看，我是孤独铁人，我们下次见。